Hello, toy friends. Welcome back. I'm Will. That's Bob,
Bob?
and that's Chad, and
Chad.
we're here talking 118 scale goodness today. So I'm glad you guys could all join me. Thank you so much, Bob, and thank you so much, Chad, for coming on today. I
Thank you for
really
having me.
appreciate it. Yeah, looking forward to it. Looks like we've got some friendly names here in the chat. Crash,
Mhm.
first in the chat. Well, aren't you
What's
just
up, Crash?
special? You're just the best, aren't you?
Hey, it's
Ian,
hard to beat
how's it
Bjorn.
going? And yeah, he's not here though. Scotty, what's happening, man? And
What?
with the little 118 goodness, cheering for cheers, Jeff Morris. How you doing? Same time toys. What's good?
What up?
Everything's good, man. We're having a great day.
Met him at Gym
Uh,
Fest.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
we got one more that just popped in.
Who's that? Hey, Brian, how are you?
I
Good to see
think
you,
I know
buddy.
him.
Yeah, I think we know him. Bob will be on with him later this evening, right? 7
Yep.
o'clock p.m. Eastern. Guys, go check out Outer Multiverse Into the Toy Box. Wonderful show. It's usually how I finish up
Thank
my
you.
Sunday evenings. So, yeah, really cool. Well, Chad, how you doing? To some people here, they may not know you. I've met you one other time, or well, I watched you. I think I was gushing in the chat over you, but you probably didn't see that on Chad's stream. Um, so this is Chad LaForce, right? What can
Yeah.
you tell us about yourself there, buddy?
Yeah, so I'm formerly of the video game industry. I worked for a company called S2 Games in Michigan. I live now in Texas, but I was creative director of a multiplayer online battle arena video game. It was called Strife. And so I created characters and wrote lore and did all that kind of stuff in the video game industry. I've actually worked on 4 different video game titles, but that's kind of my big creative claim to fame back 10 or so years ago. Since then,
awesome.
I've been an independent creator. I do comic books and graphic novels, and of course, today we're talking about toys and that type of thing. So, yeah, thank you so much for having me and letting me
Yeah.
introduce myself.
Well, I know it was a while back. There was a Kickstarter. I first saw you on Itch Chad, the other Chad,
Yeah.
the other white meat video. You guys did a video launching the Kickstarter, and anyone who's been around on my channel knows that I followed that very closely, and I covered it pretty much every week. And that was Easy Kill 9,
Yeah.
which was what I thought was just a great story. You had a great set of characters, and unfortunately, that didn't go through. So, what we've heard, people are talking, and they've said that maybe one of these characters is coming back. That you're looking for a different way and coming through. So this is going to be a Kickstarter campaign, but before everyone gets their it's one character.
Wow.
Right, and we just want to see her come to life, and
Yep.
that's hey, Boba Hicks is here. How's it going, buddy?
Hey, Bowen.
Yeah. I did forget the housekeeping stuff, so hold on, real quick. Thank you so much, channel members. Before we get into Chad's character and the Kickstarter to come, I just want to thank you all, channel members. You guys are the ones that make all of this happen. Here you all are up on the screen. There may be a few more or a couple people left, but I didn't update it this week. I kind of had a crazy week, but sounds great. Also, guys, I didn't forget the 1,000 sub celebration is coming soon. It happened right before we went to Joe Fest, and then came back from Joe Fest, and it was after Joe Fest shenanigans. So we are going to do something. It's going to be great. There's going to be giveaways. We're going to have a lot of fun. Don't let me forget it, though, because I am that kind of guy that, the longer I go without someone reminding me. And then just another reminder that Delta17toys.com, if you want to get the Joe Fest exclusives that we've shown on the show before, they all are up on the website. You can go buy them now and save 10% off if you buy 3 or more items. And I believe that includes the weapons pack. So, that's an easy one. But
Congrats on 1K.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah, it happened right before Joe Fest. I really wasn't expecting it. And then, we, I was like, I got to do something, but I just have to put something together. And I want to get a bunch of friends together. So the weekend after Joe Fest, everyone was in DFW, a lot of my friends. So I just wanted to pick a Sunday where everyone could pop on. And there's just so many people here that, I interact with on a weekly basis that I'd love to have on the stream. Celebrate. So
Well, I'll offer this one thing out to you. You mentioned it's Chad, one of my best
Yeah.
friends on the internet here, his stream. I'm his designer. So when you go in his shop and you see his Never Go Full classified shirt, that's him.
Yeah.
That's not me. Okay. I design most
Okay.
of those designs. So as you're going into 1K, if you need any artwork or any fun stuff done for the stream, I'm happy to design some things and contribute to you, because that's always fun for me. So yeah.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, same time saying congrats on the 1K. And then Brian, you guys hit 500 yesterday. Oh, that only
No,
yesterday
you
I
hit 500.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I stopped counting. You guys are close to 1K too over there on Brian's show, right?
I would have to double check because it's
Okay.
on his channel.
Yeah.
and
But I
not
know you
mine,
guys
but,
are going to be there soon, and I just can't wait. And I think when I started this show, there weren't many people talking about 118 scale stuff. Now, I mean, there's other channels that specifically cover GI Joe or Star Wars, and
Mhm.
I'm not saying that, but it was like the other lines, and maybe just in general, just the
Right,
love for the
yeah.
118 scale. But now every Sunday you can enjoy 3 great 118 scale shows that I know of, and that is this show right here, and Brian, and well, you guys talk about other scales too. You're not specifically a 118
We're
scale.
primarily
Yeah,
118,
but
but
it's
we
most of
do
it kind
delve
of,
into
yeah. And
other
then you
stuff.
got my buddy Die Hard 3.75 that goes live in the evenings after you
Mhm.
guys, right? I think he's
And he goes every other week,
every
but he's
other
going to
week.
be on our show this week. So
Oh, wonderful. So yeah,
yeah,
can't
we're
wait to
going to be
see him.
talking to him
And
tonight.
I did tell him we need to do a super show, just all
Oh
3 of
yeah,
us get together, and because he was
like
talking
a
about,
marathon.
yeah, he was talking about some toy lines that, um, his opinions on them and everything. He was saying, I was saying, wow, this guy's like sounds just like me, so I think we'd get along just great. So yeah,
Oh yeah, no, he's a good guy. He's definitely into the 118. I mean, the name itself says it all.
yeah. Oh, okay. So 327 needs boosting. Yeah, tell your 118 people about it. Yeah, you got to get over there because it's a really great show. Thursdays, Scotty's 118 day, 3 3/4 Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I'll check
Yeah.
that out.
And we love you, Scotty. So that's great. And Joe Fan, have a great shift. Oh, I guess he's just stopping by to say hello. Can't. Oh, dude, you're at work. Yep. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So great idea. Yeah, Brian, I'd love to do it. And I did tell what is Die Hard's name?
Oh, Tony.
Tony. Okay, I did tell
Yeah.
Tony. Yeah, I'd be happy to host it. And if I'm hosting a stream, you could stream it to your channel if you have a YouTube channel as well. So and then it'll just be archived on there as well. So I could do that. Jeff Morris, I collect all scales but prefer 118. Yeah, sure. I dabble in other stuff, but like I said, it's just 118 just is the one that lives in my heart. I love it, and there's just nothing that's going to change that. Not saying anything else is bad. I just, that's just the one that
I mean,
I love it.
fortunately, we live in an era where everybody has something they can find that they like.
Yeah.
In
And
all
here's a dude
scales.
that is 118 scale. My hero, Mr. M Vargo 97. You got to check out his channel on YouTube.
Mhm.
He's been tracking down a lot of stuff from like Leonard Decor, the O-ring days, and finding the vehicles, play sets, carded figures. He's really put together just a amazing collection. He's like the aficionado, if you will, of that kind of stuff. So yeah, every time I see stuff, I get these great memories and just have a great time. Yeah, his core videos are spectacular. Well, enough of that stuff. Let's talk about a new O-ring figure that no one has. Chad, this is 30. Do you want to tell us a little bit about the character?
Yeah, so she's been in 2 Kickstarters already as part of a kind of a menagerie, a team, because she is a member of a team in terms of her backstory and her lore. But this figure was the standout. I still get messages week by week by week from collectors that say, "Oh my gosh, are you ever going to do that figure? Are you going to do that figure? I want that figure." She's the one that really stood out from the whole group. So as people were coming to me, say, "Oh, you've got to do it, you've got to do it," I said, "Why don't we just crowdfund just 30? We'll just take this figure," and it's fitting too, because her role in the team is she's the advanced recon. She's the undercover agent that goes in first before the team shows up. So hey, let's kickstart her first and get her done. So she's from a group that's called Easy Kill 9. They're not military, they're paramilitary. These are operators that are done with their official military service if they ever had it. Their identities have been scrubbed. No one knows who they are or where they came from. And they're undead paramilitary operators. So they go into cities that have been overrun by zombies, vampires, werewolves, whatever the undead is, due to this outbreak that's happened in the world. And this team of 9 operators, Easy Kill 9, they go in and they sweep and they clean the streets and they make the city safe again. So 30 is the deep undercover agent that goes in first, a lot of times on her skateboard, blending with the urban crowd, going to the skate parks, learning the lingo, learning the streets, and getting her ear to the ground to figure out, okay, where's the epicenter of this thing? Where do the zombies sleep in the day? Where are the vampires partying at night in the high rises? And she maps it out. And then she delivers that intel to the rest of the team. And then she's on to the next city as they come into the place that she's just mapped out. She says the word go. She's got a certain kind of call sign that she leaves in the city. And then Easy Kill 9 comes in and they do their cleansing. But again, none of it's government sanctioned. They're doing this all under cover of night. They're doing this all kind of on their own volition, because the governments of the world are having a problem with, do zombies have civil rights? Do vampires have, you can't just, are they citizens? There's this whole thing going on. So Easy Kill 9 has risen up to say, hey, these cities need some help while you guys figure out the logistics, and we go in and we do that. So there's a whole really layered backstory to the group. But in terms of the Kickstarter, we've had a couple that I pioneered. The second one I pioneered with Craig from Zico, who was an amazing partner. He's doing his own thing now, and we're friends, and I think he's having great success. But I said, hey, I tried this thing once. Me and Craig tried it a second time. We're just not hitting the funding goal because we're trying to crowdfund 4 or 5 or 9 figures at a time. Let's just do 30. Let's just do 30. Let's get the price down. Let's get the goal down. And the metrics that I have, judging by the first 2 campaigns, we're going to get her funded this time. Because if the same people show up, what you say, and when you get close to that funding goal, if you're 10 days in and you're only $1,500 from this goal, you can do a big push and everybody rushes in. It'll be great. So I really think we're going to do good with 30 this time. I think she's absolutely the one to start with. She's the standout. And as you can see, I've been making some art and getting some promotional stuff ready for her.
Yeah, I really like it. And we'll go through some more slides. I just like this one because it did have the one that's actual the second picture over there from the left is a photograph of the actual figure.
Yeah.
Some of the other stuff is artwork, and you submitted some great artwork, and I threw them together in slides here, and just wanted to take a look. Chucks on chucks on trucks. We've got this nice picture here, so 825. So she's skateboarding around. She's got a pistol in her hand. She's also got a pair of nunchucks wrapped around her neck. So I like it. I really like it. You said she has, martial arts training. She's combat ready. She's recon, but she's not afraid to get in the mix either.
Yeah, the lore in my head, and I've got a bunch of this written down. And one thing that'll happen, if we get into Kickstarter and it kind of funds early, I'm going to do some fun stuff where all of a sudden a comic book is going to hit and some motion graphics are going to hit. And we'll really kind of unpack her. What I'd like to do with this one is get us real close to the funding goal and then say, okay, guys, every $300 we hit, I'm going to release something cool that you didn't know about 30. There's a glimpse of that further slides down we'll get to. When you talk about, what's her role in the team, she comes in as kind of this delicate flower that goes in and does intel, and her power's all in her mind. But the real lore is she might actually be the most capable military operator in the group. And that's not really a girl power thing for me. It's just plays to the idea that she goes in alone, and she absolutely has to be able to handle herself if stuff goes sideways, because nobody's coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So she's extraordinarily well trained. She can handle herself, you know, small arms, silent weapons, all that stuff. You don't want to mess with 30 if she gets in a bad mood, because she will absolutely clean you out. So she does have military training. Again, all these characters, the backgrounds are really shrouded when you get the file card, because she'll come with a card back with a file card. It's not going to say a whole lot about her. It's going to talk about her MO and her role on the team. Their backstories have purposefully been scrubbed because, again, these guys are ghost operators. They don't even exist. Like, you can't find them on tax registers, nothing. They're super ghosts to protect their families or anyone else that might still be out there. But we'll learn over time just how formidable she is and how formidable the other members of the team are, because their backstories are all very, very fascinating. But I want to unpack it really over years as we get toy funded and we start doing some comics. And because I'm a graphic novelist, I'm working on a whole big 100-page graphic novel right now, and I do a lot of art, as you can see. I'll use a lot of innovative techniques to just slowly unpack the story. We'll focus on the monsters and the bad guys first.
I think that's great. Yeah. Yeah. There's too many ones where, you know, there's like a page of exposition on the first page. It tells everyone, you're like, there's nothing to learn about this character now. You just spilled all the beans. I want to experience it. I want to live it through the story. So yeah, a couple people really just digging this. You know, Same Time Toys saying, you know, absolutely great idea. I'm in. Absolutely need comic books. I would love more comic books, and I would love more original works. You know, I think same thing with the toys too. You know, just original lore and things that we haven't seen before. Because I really feel like the nostalgia thing. Not that, you know, and I'm just speaking for myself, people. If you love the nostalgia, keep loving it. Sip it up. You know, slurp it up. That's fine. I'm not judging you. But I'm kind of done with it because, you know, one of the things I loved so much about these toy lines when I was a kid was just the sense of discovery, of finding out these things about my favorite characters. And, you know, not only was it a cool dolly that did stuff or a cool vehicle or playset, but, you know, you learn the story as you go along. And it's just, I don't know, you know, just continuing to learn even as we get older is just really what keeps us young at heart, I guess. I don't know. But, you know, 1/18 scale cardboard does work well with 1/18 scale. And A World Made of Cardboard, of course, said that because he makes wonderful 1/18 scale play sets and models that you could download and print absolutely free from his YouTube channel and make. I have a couple of them right up there. I've got a nice spaceship. I've got a couple play sets. They are so much fun to do. And this guy is a genius, and he actually just, you know, he puts those out there 100% free of charge. So yeah, Mudhorde saying he'd like to use cardboard to use. So world building. It's a wonderful medium for world building. And looks like Crash left and then came back.
Hey,
so, welcome back, Crash.
Welcome back.
I want to say to Scotty real quick. He says, "Did you say Kickstarter?" I'm absolutely using that because that is so. Thank you. That's going to be going to Kickstarter. Nice. It's amazing. I'm going to have a whole like poster of it and the whole thing.
Yeah, he's got a whole bunch of those all day long with those.
Super
great when it comes to that. All right, Crash, just get out of here. You know, he's always just pushing those buttons. All right. So I love this one, the paper doll.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is a great one. I enjoyed this. So yeah, this is just some work. Do you like dollies? Yes. Yeah, we do.
Chad always said that. It's Chad on it. You know, he's like, "Do you like dollies?" You know, dollies. Like here's I'm making this paramilitary action figure character, right? Because I envisioned that just even like if these things ever got in stores, you know, 8 or 9-year-old girls might be like, "I don't care anything about military, but she's cool on a skateboard. Let me have her." So I stripped her down in this to this idea that she's literally kind of a dolly in the most technical sense of the word. But if you put her hat and everything on her and her skateboard and her gun, you know, she becomes this, because that's her whole thing, right? She's undercover. You don't know she's deadly. You don't know what she's in town to do. This is just some glam skater girl who's afraid of breaking a nail, right? That's the ploy. And she's got, the sports jersey on, just trying to be hip and cool. But of course, under the surface, as we see her here, it's, black, tight gear, getting ready to go in there, throw some punches and pop some caps and stuff. So yeah, do you like dollies? Yeah, she's kind of the ultimate.
I like it. Yeah, I really like it. And I was going to say she also, for those people, it's just one figure at this point, but she really would integrate well with every other existing line that you have. So it's
without her weapons, I could see her hanging out at the skate park with Marty McFly from Super 7 that's coming out in the Back to the Future line.
Yeah.
She's got great crossover potential for sure. I think the story that I have for Easy Kill 9, everyone's like, okay, tell me more about that. I think the story is, it's not G.I. Joe at all. Right. And I love G.I. Joe, but G.I. Joe's got all this story, right? One of my big ambitions was, how can I tell a story that G.I. Joe fans will come over to, but they're like, that's not G.I. Joe. That's a whole other thing, So I think you can absolutely put her next to Lady J or Baroness or whatever, and you're like, hey, she fits in. But the story, I hope, goes in new directions and creates new play sets and new fun things to do. That would be a really great benefit as we got into it.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, and just incredible artwork. And I'm hoping you're going to put some of these on like posters or apparel that we could pick up later on when as the campaign goes forward.
Yeah, there are plans. There are plans. They've all been designed to print really well, because I used to manage pre-press shops. The files are ready to do a lot of things with. So absolutely. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. So there's some redacted information here on this FBI kind of file. I don't want to get too into it if you don't want to, but I was looking as I was putting these together.
So that image is meant to, if people don't really know the story, it's meant to let you know just enough to know that we really don't know what's going on with this girl. She can't be military, because the FBI is like, who's this person and how do we find her? She's wanted in the murder of, people, if that's what we're calling them. So this is meant to be kind of a big tease. And again, over the course of the Kickstarter campaign, you'll see more of the file kind of emerge, and you'll kind of see some of her run-ins with the law and stuff. Again, 30's a good guy because she saves people, she saves babies, she saves whole cities, if you will. But on paper, this is a wanted criminal. It's a bit John Wick or whatever.
Yeah. Speaking of comics, you teased this one panel from what I think is potentially a comic, right? It's like the intro.
That's the first page of a comic. Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It just starts off as pretty, Chicago, the Windy City, bustling streets, busy people, some of the best skate parks in the Midwest. And then, kind of on the bottom there, it just says, and the vampire capital of the world, which is kind of like, wait a second, what did he just say?
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, it starts off like, all right, you see someone off camera saying, shred girl, and they're just skating. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
What's up with that?
It's going to be a really fun comic.
Yeah.
I can tell you that right now, because it will, I don't want to say too much about it, but she'll begin right here where you see her, and page by page, you're going to be like, whoa, wait a minute. And you turn another page, you're like, whoa, wait a minute. By the time you're halfway through this thing, you're like, holy crap. Again, this is not G.I. Joe. This story can get really dark. I'm not saying that it will go there. What I'm saying is there will be some undercurrents of this story where you're like, hey, this is not a military comic book, and it's not a military toy line. These are mercenaries. These are really deadly trained killers that play by their own set of rules. They're good guys, but they're good guys the way that like Deadpool or somebody is a good guy. They've got a mission. They're going to do it, and they're absolutely brutal. So the whole idea of this first 30 comic book is to show you that this glamorous kind of delicate flower that you think you're dealing with, she can absolutely take care of business. So it's going to be a pretty fun comic. It's going to have some hard hits, and some of the bad guys that are going to come in there, I think also are going to be kind of instantly famous, because we've got some really fun bad guys too, and maybe they'll become toys. That'd be fun.
Yeah. Well, Stanley's Toy Room saying hi. Hey, how's it going, buddy? It was great to see you at Joe Fest, and nice to see you here as well. of course, Ascani with vampires, you'll have a lot at stake. I mean,
Nice.
he's just, I tell you, he never runs out of them either. He's
That's
always
awesome.
got won it for murder, so she killed a vampire who happened to be a big name person. Tune in and find out.
I
Yeah.
mean, who are these vampires? Are they running the city? You know, why isn't
Yeah.
the government doing anything about this? There are questions.
hmm
Hmm.
So, as far as that goes, we just got some killer artwork, more
Mhm.
stuff. Just he's in the Kickstarter.
Yeah. I love to draw 30, as you can tell. She's extraordinarily fun to draw because she's a very beautiful character and she's very feminine, but she also has great crossover. She's almost aspirational, I think, even for young girls and things like that, because she's not really a sexualized character. Now, I love Baroness. I love that art.
Yeah.
I draw that art. I just posted a cool
Mhm.
picture of
I
Zorana
saw.
on my Twitter yesterday that people are really liking. It's getting more traction than anything I've done in a long time. But 30 has all that. But again, there's this idea of things being kind of concealed. She's both completely flashy and completely blended into the scenery at the same time. So we're going to have some fun with that stuff as well.
Well, I think that's a really good tactic too. Is you want to be underestimated when you're going up against pure evil
Right.
in some
Mhm.
cases, right? I mean, you would want them to underestimate you. I think letting them be prepared for you is just not a good idea. So yeah, just beautiful artwork. Just to inspire you guys. You guys watching now. What do you think? Is this something that you guys are going to be into? I know some people are apprehensive about Kickstarters, and what I like about what you're presenting here is this is going to be kind of bite-sized. It's one figure,
Mhm.
getting it done. It's not, you're not dumping a paycheck into something that's going to take 2 to 3 years. We're talking about it's one action figure, with some, possible, goodies sprinkled on top there, but this really could be a great way in for you guys if you're kind of heard some stories about Kickstarters or whatnot, and also a way to get a figure. Now, Chad, would you be interested in, after the Kickstarter fulfills, like having a online store where people could purchase this, or is this going to be something where kind of one chance to get it?
Well, I think the beauty, of course, of having the community come around you and help fund something like this is, hey, we all paid for this mold, right? So there's one line of thinking that says, oh, let's just keep it really, hard to find. Only do what I'm just making up a number. Only do 300. I don't like that very much, because for me, if the community comes around and we've all kind of invested in this thing together, let's make it available, right? So I think once the campaign is successful and we've paid for molds and we have a factory run and everything, then I think it makes sense to say, hey, here's a store where you can get this, because we did the hard part. We made this thing. By all means, let's make it available for everybody. So that's my thinking on it at this time, and I think people can get behind that.
Crash brings up a good, it depends on the price. You'd back it depending on the price. Sure, I understand that. That means a lot to people. Andrew Davis with the yo. And then Jeff Morse coming in here saying, if I saw the figure at a show, I'd buy it for sure. Not sure about another Kickstarter, to be honest. And listen, I understand. But will buy her if I see her at a show or something. Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm definitely going to be covering it. So if you guys tune in, you'll definitely be tracking the progress of this, because it's definitely something that I'm interested in. And, I'll be coming back around.
I'm hoping that to address some of that concern, because I'm actually right with Jeff. I'm a little burnt out on the Kickstarter thing.
Yeah.
We were talking backstage and I said plainly, the reason I'm doing this third one is because people are asking.
Yeah.
Because I was done, right? Like, I'll just have it 3D printed. I'll go to conventions and whatever. People are saying, you've got to get this thing funded. My hope is that the price point on this will be right. I'm hovering somewhere in the middle, and I'm going to hopefully enlist some of you guys to go to Facebook, like the Undead Operator page, and tell me how you think the financials should look. Okay, weigh in and let me know, where do you think this figure should be priced and stuff? Because honestly, this is not for making money for me. This is to get the figure done, right?
Mm-hmm.
But my hope is when we do this campaign, that people say, well, the model's done. look, there's pictures of her printed and painted in somebody's hand. This is the product you're going to get. We fund this thing, and the stuff goes to the factory, and they produce it. By the end of the campaign, you'll know exactly what the card back looks like, front and back. You know exactly what the accessories are. You'll know the figures already made, and there's not a lot of that. Oh, a year and a half from now, am I going to have my toy? Not that there's wrong with that, but I think that's why some people are like, I don't know about another Kickstarter. My hope for this is like, you fund it in August, and first quarter 26, you're playing with this toy, because that might be nice,
Oh, that would be great. Yeah. And, I guess, that's the thing too, is a lot of people like instant gratification. Believe me, I would love to have something, that I thought of, produced, ready to go. And then, you just need the Kickstarter to get over that last hump and get the production run done, and it's shipped out. And, if you remember, Hasbro back in the G.I. Joe days, they were working on a line a year before it came out, or 2 years before it came out. So, the stuff you saw in 87 was developed in, back in 85, and it took them that long to get it done. And that's a professional company working at the highest level. They've got a department for every aspect of the process. Whereas if you're an independent creator, I think we're spoiled when it comes to that, because we're used to these companies churning them out, chugging them out, and they're getting stuff pumped out there. But when one person's doing it, they're every department. They're they're doing everything.
Yeah.
And then the last part, which is like, I guess, just production and distribution, is kind of the only part that's left to, like a third company. Is that thing you have to get over. So I'm much more flexible when it comes to that. I'm happy that it's getting done. I'm happy that I'm supporting creativity and innovation. And I'm okay with it. I know that that's not the opinion of everyone, and it's totally justifiable. You're a consumer. You want the product that you paid for, and you want it in a timely manner. So I get that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and plus, a lot of these independent creators don't have the kind of like leverage power over the factory that like a Hasbro or Mattel would. So they're a little bit at the mercy.
Zaymont Rogue saying greetings and salutations. Well, and Scotty with a good question here. Is your skateboard going to peg into her foot, or have like a magnet or something?
So the skateboard is already modeled, and there is a peg for the foot.
I'd say that's solid. It's a good way to secure it on there.
Pretty standard O-ring. Pretty standard O-ring. I love the magnet idea, by the way, but with as thin as that board is going to be, it just felt like, because again, part of this is get people the toy they want, not make the cost too high. So if I've got to engineer in magnets and this type of stuff, it just adds a layer of production that I don't want to pass the cost on to somebody else. Now, if 30 gets funded and we do well, there may be other iterations of this character in the future, because I think once people have her in hand, they're going to say, are you doing one where because I've got a bunch of other plans. Then we might get into some of that type of stuff. But I love just going, standard kind of O-ring, 82 G.I. Joe, peg the foot. And I've played with it. I've held this figure in my hand, the fully painted with the skateboard and everything. It's a ton of fun. The peg really works well.
And this last slide I had here. I'm sorry, Bob. Go ahead.
Oh, no problem. I was just gonna ask: the peg, is it like the standard like G.I. Joe size peg? X.
She's completely interoperable with original line O-ring Joe.
Oh, right.
Perfectly.
Yeah, excellent. And her height's 3 3/4 inches.
Yep.
Okay. No, just this last thing. I guess 30 on the 9. That's a 9 ball. Easy kill 9. I get it. And then the banner on top, it says, you got me on that one.
Inviolate. It means basically can't be violated, right?
Can't be violated. Okay. Yeah, it's great. I was like, you got me, because I don't think I've heard. I don't think I've heard the word spoken.
It's a real word.
Maybe I have.
It's a real word.
But wonderful. That's great. So once again, 30 coming in August to 2025.
Not too far away.
So just next month, guys.
Mostly ready to go. Just needs the funding, right?
That's it. She's been ready for quite a while. So yeah.
Yeah,
Excellent.
and you don't have much out there on it yet, but if you guys look in the description, you can find Chad's Instagram. He's got a link to his other socials, and in the future, once again, I was thrilled that Chad wanted to come on and talk about this because I covered the Easy Kill 9 stuff back in the day, and some of my thoughts on it was just that it was like Easy Kill 9, but there was some other stuff added on there. So I don't know if it was just cohesive enough or like people understood what they were getting, but I did like the other offerings as well. I think there was even a third company, Fist, was that involved with that as well. They were the ones doing the orcs versus humans, the modern day military orcs. There was
Oh,
like O-ring versions of that being added to it, right? On
not
the
familiar with
retros,
that. Yeah, I don't
on the
know.
That may have
retros
been
side of it.
the
Or was,
retros. Yeah.
yeah.
I
Oh,
think
okay.
that was like when retros were offered with Pocket People.
Right.
Pocket
Okay.
people.
That
Yeah. So
Kickstarter.
there was other things, and I think that kind of maybe just distract it from the whole thing. So
Yeah.
I like the focus. I'm pretty sure I do remember you saying when the Kickstarter didn't make it, that 30's going to be back. That she wasn't out for the count, and I really like to see her get made. So
If we
um,
don't fund this one, then we have one other option, of course, right? It's harder for me,
mhm,
which is to pitch her to a bunch of different investors and say, who wants to pay for these molds and things up front? And let's just put her in a store. I think that's a viable way. I think we could get it done. That's the long way. And for me,
sure,
that doesn't bring the community in and allow people to be like, hey, I helped get that funded. Because really what a Kickstarter is, right? If I'm waxing philosophical for a second, it's really not pre-buying a toy. Like if you go to Kickstarter and you read the description, they say you are becoming part of this process. You are becoming the community, a partner alongside the creator to get this done. And for me, that's just a more beneficial way to
yeah,
do a community. But if this doesn't work,
sure,
then we'll do it the other way, and we'll find some people that have money, and we'll say, "Hey, you're going to get a return on this. People
yeah.
want to put."
It's fewer investors contributing a lot more, whereas this is where you could contribute pretty much, what you'd pay for a steak dinner, maybe, and or more. I don't know, and be part of something though. It's a smaller bite. You're not contributing. You're not breaking the bank. You're not contributing a paycheck or more than that, and you're getting something in return. But there is a process involved in it, so it's not
Mhm.
instant gratification.
To talk
And I
about
think,
price, I'll tell you, I went to Target last week and stood in front. They've got kind of like the grown-up toy kiosk, right? You can go through the
yeah,
toy line. When you go and you see that stuff, and it's got some Super 7 stuff and some Ninja Turtle stuff, and it's got, NECA and all this type of stuff. Those carded figures now are $40.
there are some,
We're going to come
Yeah.
in way under that
yeah,
for this thing. I was amazed at price, but I do feel like in this campaign should be very competitively priced, for an O-ring figure. I think we're going to land in a nice sweet spot. So
Zaymot has an interesting point that the last campaign was kind of pre the O-ring resurgence, where
yeah,
we've seen in the last, I'd say, calendar year, or maybe even just going into 24, when like Strike Force Alpha hit and then Delta 17 hit, a lot more interest in the O-ring kind of world that some people had declared dead before that, and now we're seeing a lot more people jumping on the bandwagon. And I like to believe that, us talking about it and enjoying it kind of enables people to, get that little itch again and want to scratch it with some, O-ring goodness. But yeah, he's saying that if that campaign ran right now, that he thinks it would have gone right through.
I like that. I like how you're talking.
Jeff Moore saying, that he has all the Delta 17 figures, which are wonderfully done, just great.
Mhm.
And she fit perfectly in with those figures. Absolutely. Her and Kestrel would get along just fine. Kestrel's, her origin story was that she was infiltrating Retrograd. So, and then had to break her cover to save the lives of the Delta 17 team and then join them. So, just really, really great. I think they'd have a lot in common. They'd love it. A
Speaking of Delta
steak
17,
dinner.
real quick. Oh, go ahead.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm just sorry.
yeah.
Kickstarter equals helping to launch a company. In my opinion, nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
One quick question. since you mentioned Delta 17, and from this artwork, it looks like she's going to have the swivel wrist like Delta 17 does. Is that correct?
No, this is very true to form. Again,
Oh, okay.
kind of the 83, 84 GI Joe O-ring. She's got the bendable swivel, the arm, of course, at
Right,
the
right.
elbow. They're under her sleeves where it swivels. But I didn't want to put in any tooling that drives up price on this. I love
Okay.
the original form factor, again, of like a Lady J or a Baroness or something like that. So I said, do it just like that. It's pretty much perfection in terms of toy lines. Let's just go with it. So no, the wrist won't swivel. And again, I
Okay.
have to wonder, and maybe you guys have a bunch of those, because we've already got elbows that sometimes fall flat.
Yeah.
And I didn't want another point of articulation that would
Sure.
because then her gun's in her hand and it's flat.
Yeah, here
Fair enough.
it really does help, especially the characters that hold like rifles and stuff. It's a neat thing, and if it's not too much to add to it, it is a welcome thing, and they feel good though. They feel
Okay.
pretty good.
Mhm.
It is a welcome addition to the thing. I know on some of like the original like modern construction GI Joes, when they first started adding that, there were problems with like I've got a couple of them where the hands have just fallen off and I don't know where they are. They weren't very
Yeah.
secure. They've
Right.
and that was like late aughts, like 2007 through 2009. There's some of those
Okay.
figures, their feet and their hands would just fall off. And I don't know where they went, but they've gotten much better since
Okay.
then.
Yeah, the plastics I think are a lot better.
Yeah.
The stuff,
Oh, yeah.
like Operation Recall has got all kinds of cool articulation stuff that they're either putting in or talking about putting in, and they've really researched how to make that stuff work. So yeah, it's something I'm not opposed to considering any of those things. Again, I hope people will go on Facebook or follow my social links down there and start a conversation with me. If you're interested in backing it, tell me what you want. The campaign is going to go in about 6 weeks. The model's done, but it's not much to tweak that model. If people are like, you absolutely have to have the wrist swivel, let me know what you want to do, because this is, again, it's a community thing I'm trying to do. The character's got a great design, I think, but in terms of play features, everything doesn't have to be the way that I see it. If everyone's like, it has to have a magnet, tell me about that. If everyone says, hey, the wrist has to swivel, tell me about that, and let's figure out what's the best way.
So let's see. Jeff
Yeah.
Moore saying he had just one Delta 17 figure break at the wrist. Oh, okay. But if it's done correct without defect, I like it. The Super 7 O-rings don't have it, and it doesn't bother me either way. So, yeah, I mean,
I'm in the
it's
same boat.
fine if it's inherent in the figure. I've never had any of the Delta 17 figures. Yeah, here's the Super 7 Snake Eyes, and yeah, listen, I'm used to it. I love the O-ring. I know a lot of people think it's antiquated. It's had its time and it's time to move on, but I love it. I just love the style. The O-ring really isn't that important to me though. I've said, I know some people, the rubber band itself is not the thing that I like about it. It's everything outside of that.
Yeah.
So if someone figured out a way that it wasn't quite an O-ring, a rubber band, but some kind of other internal structure that allowed for some, movement at the waist and the torso to move, but not be a rubber band. That wouldn't bother me
See,
at all.
that's one thing I really like about the Eagle Force modern figures. Hang on, I've got one nearby. Hang on, I'll show you. Well, let me see if I can reach it. Is they've kind of solved that rubber band issue. Like in this guy, you can see he's got, well, it's hard to see, but he's got like a ball and socket joint joining his waist to torso
to the rest of the
so
torso.
you get all that O-ring bendy action, but you don't have that that rubber band in there.
Yeah, that's a great
So I know a lot of people talking about it, and they say that rubber band's a liability, and it's not hard to change them. That's great.
No, that's easy.
And part of that construction was fun too, because it really does make kit bashing these types of figures. You just take the screw out, you could put different arms on them, swap out the legs, and have a lot of fun with that. So I would not want to lose that functionality, but yeah, it being a rubber band is not important to me at all. We call them O-ring construction, but if someone, like I said, I even tried to design one and 3D print one, it just didn't have the right flex, I guess. It was a kind of a O-ring kind of delete, something to replace it. And I think Operation Recall is doing something like that. I think they've kind of strayed
okay.
away from that. Yeah. And then Jeff just following up saying that the Delta 17 guys replaced the figure. Never had a problem since. Yeah, sure. I mean, there's just something like that. Still pushing for cardboard figures. And you know what, John? If anyone could do it, you can, because he showed me some like roughly 3 to 4 inch transforming kind of robots,
Yep.
out of cardboard, vehicle to robot mode that he did that were just
Interesting.
mind blowing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what's EF?
Oh, Eagle Force, probably. Yeah.
Similar solid torso, but have a ball, not a rubber band. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Can't play with cardboard boys. Oh, yep. You cannot do that unless you laminate them. Okay, great. Good combos, guys. So other than 30 today, hey, Mikey, how are you? JMK Custom Works. How you doing, Mikey? So besides that, Chad, if you had anything else you want to talk about other than just, as more information comes available, I 100% will, love to broadcast that out and get it out to everyone. We'll have links. You could follow Chad on Instagram. There's a link in the description. Follow him and just watch for this to come around. We'll be covering it as we get closer to launch, and then during the campaign, be something that I probably mention just about every week. So,
and one other thing, Chad, also that he hasn't mentioned, he has a nice Redbubble store, Pendragon Designs, where you can get cool T-shirts like this Jet Jaguar.
Yeah, my Redbubble store is pretty fun. If my Instagram's down there, go to my Instagram, click the bio, and go to the Redbubble store, and you'll find some cool stuff on there. Thundercats and G.I. Joe and all kinds of 80s stuff, Voltron and the whole thing. Jet Jaguar, Godzilla.
Oh yeah, Jet Jaguar.
Zaymont saying I'm okay with whatever connection as long as it avoid that mid-torso booby joint. Yeah, that's a real high cut where it's just under the breast and it's cut there. I don't really like that cut there. The one that Bob just showed, it looked like it was much farther down in the abdomen, almost in the stomach area. And
oh no, this one,
it's like a ball way down.
There's no torso cut at all. It's just
a ball that sits
waist
in the waist
to torso. Yeah, that's it right there.
Okay, that's smart.
No brutal chest cut, as I've heard it called.
Scotty's saying his Mego 8-inch went from the rubber band to ball joints, and he doesn't like them. Something's not right about them. Well, yeah, I guess, but I don't know if that that O-ring would change the feel so much, And there is a way you could do something that's maybe something more rigid than that rubber band. I don't know. A matter for another day, but yeah.
But also the rubber bands aren't difficult to replace.
They're not.
You can get like a dozen of them for a couple of bucks at the hardware store. So it's not like you gotta have a specialty
shop.
Suka?
Hey, what's happening, brother? Yeah, we were talking. Me go, no, you go. What's up, buddy? Yeah, we were talking about Year of the Playset. Suka comes to mind because we talked about it on the streams. He's working with Chad on doing the March, and he runs the Toxic Toy Depot and does his awesome flame effects for 112 scale. Yeah. So you can see. But as we go, Jacob coming in here and saying, hi, Jacob, first of all, how you guys been doing? By the way, I finally got the Ghost Spider figures. Oh, great. I'm really glad you didn't have to go to eBay there for them. Their distribution has been kind of wild, where one half the country will have pegs full of them and we haven't seen them and stuff like that. So good.
One in my local area. That was the one I picked up.
No, I know, but like people for months were posting like pictures in their Walmart, and they've got tons of them. It seems to move from like the West Coast to the East Coast, and we get stuff. But yeah, the 3-body is crap. S-body is leagues better. Okay, you guys got me. I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, we're gonna move on to 2025 is the year of the playset, guys. I just wanted to come in with this before we finish up the show and just talk about it. As you know, we spoke in the past about some of the wonderful things that are being created out there. There's Random Diorama. He's doing those beautiful 3D printed sets, selling them on helladopetoys.com. The scaffolding, the tower, there's more coming from him. He's not going to stop. That's great. Suka and it's Chad working together on that unproduced G.I. Joe playset. And then Chad even has greater ambitions to sometime this year or next year, just whenever it happens, work on a Cobra Island playset that was proposed and never produced. So, just championing the cause there. You got people like A World Made of Cardboard doing these wonderful cardboard playsets. You've got jerks like Will, who, he's trying to 3D print and design his own playsets. But I found one that I think you guys might enjoy, and this is from the brand Schleich and their Eldrador Creatures set. These are really fun. I picked one of these up last week. I've been getting ads on Instagram for them because I think they tap into my brain. They know what I like. And these are called Battle Caves. And it's these reconfigurable cube shapes. And, I should actually pull that up too and show you guys in just a second here. And these wall pieces. So they do, Schleich has some great like 118 stuff. You get like Jeeps, adventure vehicles, farms, horses, a lot of like kind of just pedestrian things or, just regular civilian kind of toys. But they're really high quality, made well. And this is just a cool little play set. So those little battle caves, as they're called, they're like $29.99, and I wasn't sure about, spending the money on them and getting that cool creature and seeing if they work with 118. But then I saw this set, which I think came in at $59.99. You get two of them. So right there, it's 30 and 30. And you get the wall pieces and the extra accessories as well. So I thought this was a really neat thing. So anyone looking for some, to use with you, I mean, I think it's fun on its own. I think you just have a great amount of fun. Really reminds me of like just, how you can reconfigure these sets and transform them, stack them, really mix them up. They even have this, which isn't advertised, but if you click over, it's additional wall pieces. So if you don't want to get into the battle caves or the beast or anything, and you just want some of these cool wall pieces, you guys could pick those up for $20. You get a little box on Amazon. Includes, a whole set there just to extend your piece. So you get these like 4 wall pieces. And here's one that just doesn't come with the creature. It just comes with this like MacGuffin crystal thing inside. I don't know. Pretty neat.
Well, that'd be great if you were doing like some sort of like tabletop wargaming. That'd be like a good like objective point to have to secure.
So hey, Radnum, he heard me saying his name, and then he and then he showed up. Ken's Toys.
Well, I think you said it 3 times.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they have a good sale going on this week. Yeah, and they kept advertising this, so I just had to bite and I got it. So let me get this off of the screen here and bring up this, and I'm just going to go full screen here and just show you guys. This is how it scales with your 118 scale stuff. So I picked up that $59 set, and just so you could see, here's an extra piece. It is toyetic. It's not like, I guess, like very realistic looking, but I'm sure if you did some, so these come apart too. It's like you assemble them when you get them, and you slap these together, and these all link to each other. There's a little gap in between the wall pieces, and they don't fully go 90 degrees. They'll go like almost 90 degrees. Like that's as far as you can go with them. The beasts are cool. They're static. They're not articulated or posable, but you can see over here we've got this guy falling into the trap here. Admiral Akbar warning him it's a trap, so it's got some really neat features. You could stack these, like I said. They pop off. This thing came with like a little ball launcher. I don't know what to do with that. I think these are elemental. It's lava versus shadow. It comes with this like little like crystal that's embedded in the bottom of each battle cube thing or whatever, battle cave. And I don't know, I just thought it might be a lot of fun, and I just wanted to share that with you guys if you're in the market for some cool backdrops or just something to play with. I think they scale perfectly with 118. If you see some GI Joe figures there, I've got some DC figures in the mix and other ones. What do you guys think?
I think it looks awesome.
Yes, very,
Just
very
being
cool.
a
I
nice
don't
little
know what I
dinosaur
think.
arena if you wanted some like
Yeah,
articulated
yeah.
monsters in there.
Maybe it's not perfect for your like military or maybe even your Star Wars stuff, but I mean it could work with Star Wars, but I don't know.
Hmm.
Let's see what I know a lot of people just showed up here, so it looks like random diorama came in. Suka.
I see Fat Red Foo there.
Oh, Fat Red Foo, how's it going, buddy? Yeah, we were getting ready to kind of
Oh,
random.
yeah. Good.
Yeah, saying he likes that the wall sections are really neat, and there's
Yeah.
different configurations that they advertised, and I just did that so you guys could see it. But this is with multiple. There's probably about 6 or 7 different elements or cubes that you can pick up. But yeah, a lot of fun, and
Just curious,
especially.
do you know if these are anywhere besides Amazon, or is like Amazon the
So
exclusive?
the Schleich website, they're having like a really good sale right now where it's like 30% off and free shipping on orders of
Oh,
75 or
okay.
more or something. So you might want to check them out. Now that we've talked about it, it'll probably just show up on your phone. So don't worry
Oh,
about it
yeah, of
because they're
course.
always
Yeah.
listening anyway. But I just
Like
wanted to
15 ads on Instagram waiting for me.
yeah. Thunderdome. Yeah. Hey,
Yep.
I like them. I really was also intrigued. Yeah, they have a very satisfying kind of click when they click together, and everything fits very well. All the pieces come, it comes assembled. It was very fun putting together and setting up. And if you're designing or 3D printing something, to me it was kind of really interesting to just see how all those pieces fit together. And I think it's pretty great. Fat Refuge says he's been here, but just lurking. Hey, I do it all the
Hey,
time.
cool.
I'm terrible at leaving comments. I watch all the time while I'm working and doing stuff, and I'll think of something, but I'm just not, don't have the phone in my hand or I'm not near a
Hmm.
keyboard. And then I forget to do it later on. Zaymot Rogue saying pretty cool. Love the animals. Wish they would make some. Yeah, if they had articulated ones, that would be great. But and they say it's like for ages 7 through 12 or something, but these are heavy, man. Yeah, I don't know if you me and my brothers when we were kids. Oh, man, I could see this thing. One of us getting the horns. If we were playing together when we were kids,
You
it's
fight,
kind of
you
heavy.
challenge the bull, you get the
Yeah,
horn.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, good stuff.
Well,
But
also if you wanted like articulated creatures, some of those ones you showed look about the size of like some of the smaller Hammond collection dinosaurs. So
oh, definitely, I
uh,
think the set would work
yeah.
pair great with that Jurassic Park stuff Mattel's doing. So
Uh,
yeah, that would be a lot of fun. But that's about all I got, guys. It's just about time. I'm gonna head over to the Itch Chad pregame. Starts at 4, so I'm gonna hop over there and I'll see you guys in the chat over there if you're gonna be there. But
Yep.
just want to say thank you so much, Chad, for coming on,
yeah,
and
thank you for being with us.
best of luck with getting 30 made. Anything we could do to help out, we're
Hmm.
there. I'd love
Thank you,
to,
guys.
yeah, I'd love to push it. I'd love to see this get made. So,
Thanks,
um,
everyone, for watching. Appreciate
yeah,
you coming.
everyone at home watching, thank you so much. Everyone watching the replay, that's great. And yeah, love you guys. Have a great weekend. I'll see you
Take it
later.
easy.
All right,
Thanks.
bye. Let me. Did I click that right?